Good morning.
Morning, everyone. So good to see you.
Yeah, welcome to Church at Home. Ready to spring into action for a great morning.
I love spring.
It's spring now. So
The people with hay fever do not like spring.
no, but the plants love it.
Yes,
My
that's true.
plants are going to start growing soon. I'm really looking forward to it. The water's going to warm up. Anyway, it's all coming up. But yeah, there's plenty of different ways for you to tell us all the great things in your life. You can comment on this video, or you can connect in with us a little deeper if this is your first time. We've got
Definitely.
all sorts of stuff happening all the time. So we've got an app, the Gateway app, and if you fill out the connect form, we'll be able to connect you into things like life groups where we're meeting in each other's houses and have good food and chat about life and We've got active for people who want to do running or riding or basketball, and stuff for prime timers who are over 60s. And we've got youth for the under 18s and over 12s. Is that right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's all sorts of things on.
Totally. Talking about youth, we celebrated the camp launch last night.
Yes.
And Camp No Fear
Woo!
is coming up really soon in January. It's
Yep.
our annual summer camp, and it's not just for people that call Gateway home, it's for youth all along the peninsula and around the area, and it's just a highlight of the year, right? So it is grade 6 to 12 that go on camp, 4 days of so much fun, and the launch was epic.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets me so excited for what's coming in January. So if you know a young person in your life, or you have a niece or nephew, you have a child, you have your friend's daughter, please tell them about camp, because they are in for a treat if they sign up for our camp in January.
And even if you're interested, come along as a leader.
Yeah,
Have
we'd
just
love
as
to
much
have you.
fun, and it's great to put back into this community. And if you've got
the
kids
best.
who are a little younger than youth, there's the God's Own Family Festival in 2 weeks.
So cool.
Sounds
that.
fun. Saturday, 21st September. So that's in the evening, 5:30 till 7:30.
Yep.
It's going to be at Gateway. It's going to be an ice creamery. It's going to be a jumping castle, face painting, all sorts of things going on. It's just going to be heaps of fun. I might
Like
get
a big party.
Spider-Man or something.
That's awesome.
Or Jesus.
Is
That's allowed, isn't it? Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe Spider-Man.
Get a wig.
Spider-Man, then you don't know. It could be Jesus under the mask. You don't know. Anyway, get tickets via the app that we mentioned earlier. There's plenty of things on there. There's also while you're on the app, make sure you're looking to the giving section, as well as the prayer wall, which is my still number one on my list of things that I love about the app, where you can just submit your prayer requests. You can pray over the family festival coming up. Or you can just say, I need some prayer over my leg that's healing, or whatever. And then you can go back on the app and you can see people that have said, like, I'm committing to pray for this.
That's so
I
cool.
think it's a really special way for us to all just get around each other in prayer.
Yep, I love that. Next up, we have one of our favorite people. Tree is speaking on our second week of the Impress series. So let's pass it to her.
Hi, I'm Tree, and I am here to continue on our series of Impress. Now, Sinj talked to us last week, hopefully you saw that, about and introduced the series, and he's inspired us. His job was to inspire us and maybe challenge us just a little bit. It's my job this morning just to give some practical ideas to implement into your life and your family work, to how to put some legs on that inspiration. So I'm just going to share some things that are working for our family that might help yours. First, a little bit about our family. I'm married to Josh. We have 3 beautiful girls, Eva, who's 13, Olive, who's 11, and Indy, who's 9, almost 10. Yes, we did smash those out very quickly, and life was very hectic when Indy was a baby. I had 3 and under. I don't actually remember a lot about that season, but we got through it, clearly. And I just want to state the obvious here, that you're probably thinking, I am not a parenting expert. I'm only just getting into the teen years with 3 girls. It could all go vastly downhill from here. In fact, I know that there's probably a few of you out there with your adult kids sitting there smugly on your couch going, she's about to have 3 teenage girls. She has no idea what's going to hit her. I am well aware, and I'm slightly dreading it, but kind of trying to look forward to it. I just want to let you know, I'm not here to tell you how to raise your kids. This talk is not about outcomes, it's about the process. Obviously, I don't have set outcomes yet, and I can't guarantee outcomes anyway. Even if I was a 90-year-old with generations of Christ followers there all pointing to me saying, you're the reason that I follow Jesus, I still can't give you a guaranteed outcome, because parenting isn't a formula. It's about being faithful with what you've got, with your own experiences, your own faith journey and personality, your gifts, and it's about trusting God with the outcome. I'm just here to share some practical ways that we found helpful to impress faith on our kids in the 80% years that we have with them. And hopefully you can take something out of this and tweak it to your own family. Also, I know this topic doesn't necessarily feel relevant to everyone who's watching right now, as it's close to being a parenting talk, but I think that there's definitely relevance here for anyone who's interested in cheering on the next generation and passing down faith to those who you have influence over. So don't turn it off just because it's a parenting talk. I promise you there'll be value here for you. So let's look at this key verse that we've been looking at. Sinj read it to us last week. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Oh, no, I'm so used to God's growing up in kids' church. There was a mind in there before. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. These commandments I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Now, today I want to hone in on the impress them on your children part of that verse. Now, the original Hebrew word that they use is shanan. Look, we are Aussie, so we could probably call it shazza, but the Hebrew word actually has a couple of different meanings. So I want to start with the first one, which is to teach diligently. Now, they often use this word in place of impress in other translations. So the ESV, for example, says teach them diligently to your children. So it's a widely accepted thing. But what does that actually mean? Now, I'm not someone who loves to work out. I hear those people talk, when they say, I just love going to the gym, or I went for a 10K run today and it felt so good. And I'm sitting there going, are you lying? Is this an elaborate prank? Or have you not realized how fun it is to just sit and have a cheese board? But I know that there are those people there, and I know that I need to exercise because I want to be fit and strong and all those things. So I go to the gym, I do the Pilates and the rower or whatever it is. Every now and then I even try and run just to see, and it doesn't go well. But a little while ago, probably last year, I was asked to fill in for a netball team, and as I was playing, it gave me this little spark of excitement. See, I'd always been a netballer growing up, but I'd kind of stopped playing when I had kids, just couldn't fit it in and just forgot about it. But in playing that game, I remembered I actually like running when it has a purpose. Okay, well, I don't like the running part, but I like getting the ball and I have to run to get the ball. But the point is, it just sparked something in me. And that team ended up closing down. They went to basketball. But Stacey and I were like, let's start a team of our own. So we actually started our own team. It's called Stacey Brown Does Netball. And we did make it to the finals 2 seasons in a row. But as I started playing, each week, I was finding my fitness was not up to scratch, probably because of all the cheese boards and the sitting. But suddenly, I had a reason to train. See, it wasn't just a workout anymore. I was actually training for something. I knew that when I went to the gym and worked on my legs, it would improve my jumps in my game. And when I did cardio, it made me fitter so I could be faster for longer at netball. I was training for a purpose, not just doing a workout with some vague conviction of being fit. See, a workout is just a means to an end. It's something that I knew I should do, but I had no real why. But training is about a future goal. It has a purpose beyond the workout. And when we think about teaching diligently, it's training. It's not just a workout. It's about strategic and persistent effort that edges you towards a goal. We're training our kids in the way of life and faith for the love of Jesus. So what's the goal? It's just for them to have their own relationship with Jesus and have a faith of their own, not just copying and living off of ours. And of course, I do realize the irony of this analogy for anyone who knows me, since I have not been able to exercise for the last 4 months, injuring my ankle, tearing pretty much all the ligaments in my ankle, playing netball. But that's life, that happens. And now I'm training with the purpose of getting back to full capacity with my ankle and being able to play netball again. And you better believe I will be back on the court when I can. But anyway, I often say parenting, and pretty much leadership for that matter, is about making yourself obsolete. And look, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Of course, I will always be there for my kids, but I want to raise my kids to be independent and not need me, but to thrive in their own way and do life in their own way. And impressing faith is the same. The goal is not for the next generation to behave the right way or have the same faith as us even, but to build their own intimate relationship with Jesus so that they can go to new places in their faith and embark on new journeys and take the church to new levels. So the training process is about making incremental changes and putting in the time and the effort with a goal in mind. It's about being intentional with our words, with our actions, with our habits. But we've talked about that. I also want to explore the second meaning, and it's quite different, almost contradictory. It's really interesting. So the second translation actually says to whet, as in to whet one's appetite. Now, I don't know about you and your family traditions, but in our family, food is pretty much a major part of every celebration, but especially Christmas. I love to create that moment where, because we host most years, where people walk in and see that beautifully set table and smell the vast array of meats roasting in the ovens and the barbecues. And I'm sorry for any vegans out there, I'm probably going to offend someone, but when we do Christmas, it's like a Noah's Ark on a table. I'm talking turkey, pork, ham, lamb, and yep, we even did a turducken, which is a chicken stuffed in a duck, stuffed in a turkey. It sounds disgusting, but it's amazing. Anyway, I'm getting distracted and I'm sorry if I've offended people. But picture this. Picture walking in, being handed a glass of punch or champagne or juice or whatever it is that you like to drink. You're smelling the smells and you look at this beautifully set table all ready for you to feast. That's what I think of when I think about whetting an appetite. It's creating an atmosphere that is appetizing, making keen, helping people to get ready for what's to come with excitement and anticipation. That is how we impress faith on our kids, by living out that full and abundant life that Jesus calls us to, by whetting their appetite for faith. And what springs to mind is when Paul the Apostle says to the church in Corinth, follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. That's what we're called to do as parents. So these two are almost contradictory in some ways. Teach diligently, train your kids, be strategic, but also just live out your faith and invite them to join you along the way. Make faith appetizing to your kids. But this is what I absolutely love about the Bible, is that there's so many meanings and interpretations, and God can speak through all of them. And I actually think rather than these two being contradictory, they're actually complementary, because you need both. Josh and I tend to err on the side of just come and do life with us kids and we'll teach you stuff along the way. And, that's kind of our style. But we've had to really learn how to be intentional and diligent with certain things too, to make sure that they're not missed. Others may be really good at planning something structured and may love planning like a study for family night meals. But they may need help with creating fun and joy and around life and faith, or like sharing their personal faith and making it real with their kids. But both are required and they both work together. Okay, so practical tips have been promised. I'm going to share with you a bunch of things we do in our family and some other tips that fall into either teaching diligently or whetting the appetite. Some of them are both, and I'm not really big into categories or clever acrostic poems, so I'm just going to hit you with my list of hot tips, and I would just love for you to take what works for your family. Hopefully you can take a little something that you can implement into your family life, change it, tweak it as you will. But I actually have kept this table here for a reason. Because the dinner table is not just an analogy for whetting the appetite. It's actually the centerpiece of it. Eating dinner around the table is so, so important for family life. I know firsthand that it can be so difficult to try and eat dinner around the table every night, especially when you've got toddlers, because all they're wanting to do is get on top of the table or under the table or do cartwheels over in the corner. And then it's hard with school-age kids because you've got sports, you've got swimming, you've got other youth band, you've got activities, you've got friends and play dates, and just general teenage attitude. And you know what? Mine are still doing cartwheels over in the corner, and they're all preteen. There's so many challenges, but eating together as a family around the table is absolutely worth it because it's just so crucial. It builds family connection, and it's a chance for you to share how God has been working in your lives today and every day. And in fact, a Harvard study actually shows that regular family dinners growing up are associated with lower rates of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and eating disorders, as well as higher rates of resilience and higher self-esteem. But on top of that, it's an opportunity to get to know your kids and share with them about you and your life and your faith. We do this thing called Rose, Thorn, Bud, and it's just a simple conversation starter that we share every mealtime. But I thought rather than just tell you about it, I'm going to show you. Hi!
Hello.
Welcome to my table.
Thank you, it's beautiful.
Sorry, I'm not going to feed you. It actually hurts my soul to not have you sit at my table and not feed you. But we are pushed for time.
That's all right.
Okay, so we're going to do Rose, Thorn, Bud.
Cool.
Rose is something that's made you smile this week or something that you're grateful for.
Yep.
Thorn, something that's been tricky or made you a bit sad or angry. And Bud, something you're looking forward to.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're just going straight into it.
Just go straight. You go first, then I'll go. This is...
Okay.
I'll try not to do cartwheels over in the corner like my children normally do.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Rose.
Something's made me happy. Okay, something made me actually really happy is, it's really silly, but Brody cleaned up a room that was really messy. And so, Brody's my husband. And so
Adult
now
life.
it's so clean. And so when I walk in, it makes me really happy. And he surprised me by the room being really clean. And I was like, oh, this is the best. So yeah, I'm an acts of service person. So that just like really spoke to my
That's
heart.
really beautiful. Husbands, are you listening?
So that was really nice. Okay, a thorn. Thorns. Is something tricky?
Something that was tricky, something made you sad, something made
Okay.
you angry. Sometimes we do, if you can't think of one, that's okay. You can
Great.
do 2 buds.
Okay.
2 roses.
Okay. Well, something that has made me sad is that my sister wanted some help with someone to stay over this weekend, but I can't do it. So
Wow, access, you really are access service.
well, and Brody can't drive, so I've got to be around him. So I'm like, okay. It made me sad that I had to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww. And bud, something you're looking forward to.
Oh, well, I'm really looking forward to, it's kind of silly, but I'm really looking forward to Run Club soon because at the next run, my friend and I decided that we're going to get a mimosa because it's spring now.
Oh, I respect that
Afterwards,
so much.
instead of coffee.
That might even be enough to get me running. Maybe. Actually, I can't, but
So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. Should be cute.
love that. Not silly at all. Respect.
Thanks.
And so my rose. I should have been thinking about this while you're doing it, but I was listening. I'm active listening. My rose is, we're starting to get ready. I've been drawing up plans for our house and I'm getting really excited about that. It's been really fun actually putting some physical drawings down of like what we're going to
So
do. My thorn is that I've been like just low key a bit, I don't know if it's sick or just run down this week. So just everything has felt like a little bit harder. This morning, all of my children were like in the same, like just not sick, but just like grumpy and a little bit. Indy was making noises with every movement she was doing. Like, every time she did anything. So that was trying my patience this morning.
This is hold your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bud, do you know what? Actually, talking about Christmas has made me get really excited for Christmas. I know it's ages away.
It's not that long, Tree.
I'm getting really excited. I love Christmas. Yeah. So thanks for sharing.
That's okay. Thanks for having me. It's beautiful.
Isn't she beautiful? Love Danny. And I loved hearing about what she cared about. So see how I got to hear more about her day than it was good. I know what she's struggled with and I know what is making her happy and what she cares about. And it's the same when we do this with our kids. It helps to open up conversations. Now, don't get me wrong, because sometimes getting through this is like pushing, I'm not going to swear, poo up a hill. I have to remind them to listen to each other when their turn is done, to not get up from the table to go and do something else. I actually still have to be like, stop doing cartwheels over there, Indy, come back to the table. Legitimately, the other night, I had to say that. I have to fend off constant questioning from Eva about if we're having dessert tonight. But I did have a little moment the other day that just reminded me why we pushed through. We'd done movie night. Yes, we also eat dinner in front of the TV sometimes. Once a week we do movie night. They eat dessert before dinner. We watch a movie while we're eating our dinner. So we are a somewhat normal family too. We're not perfect and sit around the table every night. But it meant we didn't do roast thorn bud that night. Anyway, later on, Olive and Indy were having a shower and I could hear them chatting through the wall. And I heard Indy say, so Olive, what was your rose thorn bud today? And they both shared theirs really beautifully and then continued on chatting like it was the most natural thing in the world. And it was so beautiful and just reminded me, this is why we pushed through. Look, another one is tell stories. This is how Jesus taught. Stories are powerful. And we try and tell stories about our own faith, about how God's impacted us. We tell stories from when we were kids and when we were youth, but we also read stories and do devotion books with them. So I've got some here that I'd love to share with you, just as an example. And look, if you're wanting to know a little bit more about what are some good resources, feel free to contact us and we'll find a way to get that to you. But these are awesome because they are ways of using stories and fun facts, but making them accessible for kids and teens and using them to explain the truth of God. Now, Olive is my reader. She's my middle child and she loves to read. She loves the Bible. So we got her a slightly meatier one. She's got The Purpose Driven Life and she loves this. But Indy, is a bit more of she loves to draw and doesn't have a huge attention span. So we got her one where you draw your devotion. So she'll just fill it in and draw pictures about what she's read. And Josh is and there's a bunch of other ones that are really great, but we can find a way to get them to you. Josh has just started this thing where he's gone, we'll do a hot chocolate and devotion time before bed. So 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll all have a hot chocolate and sit around the table or on the couch together and do a little devo, chat about it, or they'll just do their own and write it in their journal. But it's been really great as an opportunity for them to not only spend time with us, but to get to know the story of God better and hopefully build on their relationship with Jesus. Also a great excuse for more sugar, which my children are always on board for. Another one is prayer. Prayer is so powerful. And Josh and I pray together every night in bed, most nights in bed. I won't say every night. And it's usually for the kids, but it's often, for all sorts of things, for our friends, for work, for whatever's going on in our lives. But we always have some time for the kids. Praying for wisdom with the challenges that they're facing or that we're facing as parents. But also we pray over their futures, who they're going to become friends with, who their future partners will be, his plan for their life, and praying for their future partners. We actually learnt this from Josh's parents, who prayed for their kids and their kids' partners. They actually prayed for them, not knowing who they were going to be, every Monday night for their entire married life, even before they had kids. And they still do. They pray for our kids now as well. And look, if you ever needed proof that prayer works, they got me as a daughter-in-law. So yeah, obviously joking. But can I also encourage you not only to pray for your kids, but pray with your kids too. Because praying with them before bed is such an incredible opportunity to model to them how to talk with God. But it also gives you a chance to just speak hope and faith and encouragement over them. I'll sometimes ask with them, if there's anything that they want prayer for, maybe something they're struggling with at school or someone that they want to pray for. Or sometimes I'll just remember what they've said at their, when they're at the table when they've shared their rose thorn bud and pray for something along that. Sometimes we'll just speak hope over their future and encouragement over them. But I also find that when we pray with our kids, it actually brings up conversations and questions that we might not have come up with otherwise. And look, sometimes this backfires as it drags bedtime out to an hour-long process where we discuss all the intricacies of theology and death and the afterlife and angels. And I'm just I just want to go down and eat my chips. I thought I was going to be done with bedtime 50 minutes ago. But it is actually an incredible opportunity to be able to speak with them when they're curious and wanting to know about this sort of stuff. And it has paid off multiple times in our household. Chips can wait. Look, another one is walk the walk. And Cinch talked a little bit about this last week too. Are we practicing faith care, as well as self-care? And to be honest, I think faith care is a huge part of self-care because we're so much better when we are looking after our faith. And when we are walking and living life with Jesus, it makes us better in every aspect of our life. But, let's let your kids see how God works in your life. My kids know that for me, the first 5 to 15 minutes of the morning, depending on what distractions, and by distractions, I mean my children, come up, that's my time to spend in bed, just praying and reading the Bible. But it's more than just good Christian habits, it's how our relationship with Jesus is actually outworked in our day-to-day life, how we respond to situations. It's how we use our finances. It's how we welcome people into our homes, how we talk about people, how we talk to people, how we talk about our own struggles and our own faith and how that helps us. Now, I'm not saying that we nail all of these things, but we're giving it a go. What I am saying is that kids will learn way more from what we do and how we live than what we say and what we tell them. Now, the last one's going to make me a little bit unpopular. No, sorry, second last one. I'm not going to be popular with the kids and the teenagers once I read this out, but I do believe it's for the best. Don't make things easy for them. I know it sounds harsh, but I actually think it's the best thing we can do for our kids, both in life and for their faith. In the book of James, he says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let that perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." In other words, let them do hard things. Let them struggle and even fail sometimes, because it's in that process that they will build resilience and grow in their faith. I look back at my life and I know that so many of my biggest growth seasons with God were the hard times, the dark nights of the soul. And I don't think I would have grown as much if things had just been easy. I know as a mum, we often tend to have that inbuilt panic button that just wants to spare our kids from all harm and pain. And while at times that can be when they're actually in mortal danger, that instinct is a good thing. But there are other times, to be honest, probably most of the time, when I have to fight that instinct because I know that it's more for me than it is for them. Now, there's another study, I love a study, that's been done to show that kids who have to help around the household and do chores and contribute, and I'm talking consistent and inconvenient chores, not just picking up a random sock that they've dropped, statistically have more confidence because when they do hard things and contribute to the household, they get a sense of achievement and a resilience that doesn't come if everything is just handed to them and done for them. We're equipping them to turn to Jesus in tough times instead of rushing to fix the tough times for them. Now, Olive had a real season of fear at bedtime a couple of years ago, and she would get these really scary thoughts and images in her head. She's very creative and reads a lot of books, so it was kind of backfiring on us a little bit. She just couldn't seem to get rid of them. It was such a tough time for her and for us, and we tried so many different things to try and help her, help herself through that season. One of the things that we actually came up with was speaking out like Bible verses about fear out loud over herself, like Joshua 1:9, and she still has a little slip of paper on her wall with that verse on it. But in doing that, she realized, I actually really like this, and then she wanted to look up more. And then we found in that season, she actually developed not only a love for the Word of God, but an actual relationship with Him that went deeper than grace at the table. She learned to rely on Him and to go to Him in her fear and in her worry and let Him comfort her. After a while, the fear disappeared, but her love for reading the Bible and prayer remains to this day. Now, we could have laid with her every night until she fell asleep so she didn't have to feel worried. And don't get me wrong, we didn't just go, here's a Bible verse, you're on your own, see you later, I'm going to go eat some chips. We worked through it with her, we'd come up and check on her. But we also had to give her time and allow her to face her fear on her own and learn to rely on God and not just us. And looking back, I'm really glad that we did that. Lastly, I want to talk about leaning into community. Now, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and I 100% agree with that. But can I add to it? I think it takes a church to impress faith on the next generation. Yes, it's our job as parents, but we are missing a vital piece of the puzzle if we ignore the fact that we are part of a wider family, the family of God, His church, our church. Our church is such a beautiful place for people to be friends with people of different ages and backgrounds and to see different perspectives. Our kids have this beautiful circle of people that are our friends, but have come to be their friends as well, that I know they can go to for advice or just friendship. I love knowing that if there's something that they don't want to talk to me about at some point, that they've got a plethora of options of people that they can go to who I know love them and want the best for them and will give them sound and godly advice. If you have a teenager, lean into Camp No Fear. Woo! I had to woo myself there because there's no one else to woo. And youth. It is honestly the best resources for parents who want to impress faith on their kids. It's like an absolute freebie. And if you don't know what that is, you can go to our app and have a look in the event section or the youth section. It is genuinely incredible. There's a team of passionate and incredible young, and some not as young, adults who give up so much of their time to just pour love, encouragement, and wisdom into the teenagers of our church. And I could not be more grateful for that team. You know, I had an example the other month where Eva was really freaking out about a performance that she had to do at school. And I gave her my best mum chats. I was trying to give her stories, examples, times when I'd felt that, promising her she'll feel better once she does it. Nothing was working. She went to youth one night, chatted with Charlotte, felt so much better afterwards because Charlotte had a different perspective and a different idea, and that really connected with her. Church, can I encourage you that no matter what age you are, whether you have kids of your own or not, you are all vital in impressing faith on the next generation. The youth, so many of them serve at God's Own, our kids program, and those little ones look up to them so much. They're already influencing those who are younger. But also when they're jumping around at camp and youth and church and moshing and passionate in their worship, man, they're impressing faith on the older generations. No matter how young or old you are, if you are a part of this church family, you are needed to help impress faith onto the next generation. We have incredible older generation people in this church. For example, the beautiful Kate Campbell. She is just an encourager to all ages. But she told me, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, that she joined the coffee team at church so that she could get to know the younger people in this place. and she's coming to camp to help lead, which is incredible. There's also the incredible Andrina, who doesn't have kids of her own, but has led and grown and encouraged young people all of her adult life. She may not be a parent, but she is raising the next generation and impressing faith with both diligence and joy. And can I just say that to Rick and Marcy, that you have set such a beautiful culture here. You know, it is our job as a church to create a culture and atmosphere that whets the appetite of the generation to come, and that will, because they're the ones who are going to lead this church in the future. And they've done that so beautifully. In fact, it reminds me of another story. We were watching the Barbie movie when it first came out. We love the Barbie movie. You might be able to tell, wearing pink today. And you know, there's that line about patriarchy, and Eva turned to me and was like, "Mum, what's patriarchy?" So I, you know, explained the general gist of patriarchy, and she goes, "Oh, it's a good thing we don't have that here." And it was such a beautiful moment because she was blissfully unaware that it does still exist in this world. But that's because my girls have grown up in a church that elevates both men and women equally. They've seen their mum and their dad have opportunities to lead and speak and serve in this place. They have no doubts about their worth as women because of the community that they have grown up in. And Rick and Marcy, I love that you continue to dig deep into God's love and grace and welcome. And honestly, I could not be prouder to call this place my home and for my kids to grow up here. So can I just say to you, church, thank you for the impact that you've had not only on our family, but all the other families that are growing up here or have grown up here. You are impressing faith on the next generation.
Why don't you stand? We're going to worship this morning our faithful, faithful God. Come on. As I reflect, I find perspective. They're in the best and worst days of this life. You are always on my side. You're in the pain, you're in the promise, and on the days the furnace finds my faith, you're the fourth within the flames. I don't need to know what the future says, 'cause if the past could talk, it would tell me this: my God isn't finished yet. If He did it before, He can do it again. So I trust Him with what comes next. For the God I know is known for faithfulness. Oh, yeah, my hindsight says I can trust Him with what's next. For the God I know is known for faithfulness. There's more ahead than what's behind me, 'cause in the highs and lows and in between, God, you go ahead of me. Where you call, and where you call me, I will follow. And if the water falls beneath my feet, then you pull me from the deep. I don't need to know what the future says, 'cause if the past could talk, it would tell me this: my God isn't finished yet. If He did it before, He can do it again. So I trust Him with what comes next. For the God I know is known for faithfulness. Yeah, my hindsight says I can trust Him with what's next. For the God I know is known for faithfulness. No, I don't need to know what the future says, 'cause if the past could talk, it would tell me this: oh Lord, my God isn't finished yet. If He did it before, He can do it again. So I'll trust Him with what comes next, 'cause my hindsight says I can count on this: my God isn't finished yet. If He did it before, He can do it again. So I'll trust Him with what comes
Yes, Lord, we just thank you that you are faithful. You have always been faithful, and you will remain faithful. And this morning, we want to focus our attention on you. We bring our hearts, we bring our minds, we bring our souls as an offering this morning. Yes, Lord.
You love with no reservation, and you're not looking for perfection. And there's no need in me pretending. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. You deserve my full attention, and nothing less than my devotion. Speak to me and I will listen. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. Oh, you can have my heart. 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 Be the Lord and be the Lord of my emotions. Oh, and set me free from selfish motives. And search me till there's nothing hidden. And I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. Oh, no. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Oh, no. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Yes, Lord. No. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Oh, no. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Yes, Lord. And if you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. If you want my yes, if you want my yes, you got it. You got it. My all, if you want my all, you got it. You got it. Oh, no. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Oh, you can have my heart. You can have my heart. Lord, I give you my heart. I give you my soul. I live for you alone. Every breath that I take, every moment I'm awake. Lord, have your way in me. Lord, I give you my heart. I give you my soul. I live for
when I look back, I can see your hand all over my past. Even in the times I'd rather forget, I just can't believe you'd love me like that, love me